Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat, and today is Tuesday, April 27th, 2021. And as we get started today, allowing people to filter on in over the course of the first, 10-ish minutes, yeah, yesterday's stream was not that pleasant, to be completely honest. I mean, the actual gameplay in the stream itself, that was fine. But there was a thing that happened yesterday during the stream that was not expected. Basically, I tried to grab Dolly as she was trying to go up over top of the coffee machine. And when I grabbed her, she latched onto the machine and tipped it down, spilling about that much coffee. Like, emptied about that much coffee on the desk, on the floor, and on the piano that's sitting right there. In the piano. So, after draining the piano on the floor, leaving a whole bunch of coffee stain all over the carpet below me, and in the middle of the room, after draining the actual piano, and after letting it sit overnight through the day, unplugged, it's fine. Every key is working. Every button is fine. All the keys were that between the ones that got directly splashed and the rest of the ones down the rest of it. It's all fine. In particular, that C was the most problematic one initially. Yesterday, because I had turned it on to see what could be problematic, what I was trying to look for after it completely dried. and that C was almost completely dead. I would push it and nothing would happen a bit, but after a few seconds, it would actually start producing noise again. Others up the line, a few of them were uh, they didn't have the proper punch sensitivity, so basically these keys on this keyboard, if I lightly tap, it produces a lighter sound. But if I hit it harder, it produces a harder, louder sound. It was treating it as if I was always slamming the key, producing the loudest noise possible on a number of these, and even the sharps flats were like that. But today, everything, the entire keyboard, is okay. It's working. Oh, and it was also flipping between the different instruments randomly. So you could be playing it, and then every few keys would be a completely different instrument as it was randomly cycling while it was going up or down through the list of the various instruments. There's two buttons, one for up and down on the list, and I think those had also gotten a little bit of moisture, but now it's fine. It works. I'm happy. I happened at the time to have the thing off, fortunately, as well as the coffee machine was off and is off right now, so it wasn't hot coffee spilling everywhere. But it was a thing. Definitely a thing that happened yesterday that was a little bit scary because this is a 300 and some odd dollar keyboard. I think the MSRP is like $380 for this keyboard, which is not exactly the cheapest thing in the world. Cheap in terms of full 88 key, full weighted key keyboard piano. Um, like for what it is, it's relatively cheap, but what it is also expensive. You can get keyboards that are or pianos that are in the thousands of dollars range. Still cheaper than an actual acoustic piano, which could be, tens of thousands of dollars for a genuine full size acoustic piano. And a lot of that cost is just moving the thing. So that was my experience yesterday during our Stardew Valley stream. I will note that for those of you who do not come to those Stardew streams on Friday and Mondays, that I did not stream Sea Block on Thursday because we had a Cox technician coming in to replace the modem. Because they were requiring us to replace our modem, otherwise they were going to change our internet plan to essentially the updated version of the plan that we're on that actually has a higher download rate but lower upload rate. We would go from 300 megabits and 30 megabits on the download and upload to 510, which no, I like the 30. I would like to keep the 30, so the Cox came out for free to give us a free updated modem, and that's what canceled the stream on Thursday. And then on Friday they came out again to take care of some of the home security issues. AKA actually one issue because I was just being lazy and hadn't replaced a number of batteries. But after I had replaced all the batteries, there was one that had been problematic. In my office window, one of the sensors wasn't reconnecting for whatever reason, so we just got a new sensor. He just installed a new sensor, and that was that. And this new sensor uses a different battery than all of the other sensors, but apparently lasts 5 years. So we won't have to worry about it for a while. Anyway, that was all of that. I did have a afternoon Friday stream of Stardew, just because I didn't want to go like 4 days in a row without streaming. So that's all those updates. Let's actually get into Factorio, which I am not prepared on this day and haven't actually started the game yet. So here we go. Let's load in to Factorio. Oh boy. Yeah, that was definitely an experience having basically my own greed trying to grab Dolly to show her on the camera. She wasn't having it. She was not having it, and she hooked onto the coffee pot, and as I pulled her back, so too did the coffee pot pull back and spill everywhere. Oh gosh, I haven't even tested the controllers that got hit because I have my uh Xbox One Elite wireless controller, the Gen 1 Elite controller, with a custom white faceplate that I got for it. Like, basically, this entire casing is new. I think the only thing that's part of the original thing is the buttons and the, like, control board in it. Otherwise, I think I've had to replace most of the shell of this thing over the course of time. Because initially I actually wanted a white faceplate on it. I didn't really want it to be in black, and part of the whole appeal of this Xbox One wireless Elite controller was that it's supposed to be customizable. You're supposed to be able to like change out the analog sticks for what you want. You've got back paddles that you can use. I don't use them. And I thought, well, if the rest of it's supposed to be customizable, why not like the cover of it? So I popped the cover off and put on a Chinese one. I think this came from China, actually, this white faceplate. But I had to replace the back sections because these grippers have a tendency to like lift up and bubble up, and eventually they rip off. So I replaced the pieces on the side. These are individual pieces on here on each side. That's 2 separate pieces. But also I had a problem on this section lifting up on here on this part, and that's a different piece that houses the entire center section. So as I've said, like the entire thing has been replaced over time. But I don't know if it's still working exactly after getting shot with coffee. I'm assuming it will. Same goes for my Switch Pro controller. That also got hit a little bit, I think, with the coffee. At least they both got wet. I don't know by how much they got wet. Oh gosh, so much stuff. Also, I had a book got a little bit of coffee on it, damaged the book a bit. That was great. Can still read it, fortunately. It's just the edges that got hit. So last time we met, I set up Crystal Catalyst production from this monstrosity of a behemoth. Behemoth of a monstrosity? Yeah, that I think sounds better. Made a few of those. I completed the train setup on it, so everything is getting made, is loaded in, is filling a warehouse, is filling the bulk rail loaders, and it's done. This build is done. The main thing about it between last time and this time that I had to modify was that I failed to take into consideration proper throughput of these outputs, because as it turns out, some of these actually produce more than a yellow belt of stuff. Like, what was it here? This produced this guy produces more than one yellow belt of output of the crystal dust. Same here and here, and I did not initially take that into consideration, so I've done some shenaniganry to make sure that the throughput is available and it does its inputs properly. And I had to, like, do a few adjustments even down here to make it all fit. And I made it all fit. So that was a thing. I needed to add another voiding of the mineralized water as well, so that these could operate at the 15 per second per belt, to get rid of all of the crushed stone. So that was that. I also, put in enough of the thingies to get this going consistently, and it made all the things. It did the thing. But I also did a few other things off-screen between last time and this time. The first that you'll probably see here is that I have expanded out the available areas to build in. I have grown the available landmass, so we have room to work with now for our next projects. I have also finished my tinned wire and lead and solder. So tinned wire coils, solder coils, lead plates. All of that is done, is being provided onto my train network at this point. The actual solder is just a lead and a tin. These processes are very, very similar to each other, going into the processed, into the ingots, into the stuffs. Lead in particular has this little intermediate step here that gives you actually some sulfur dioxide I could probably use. The problem is that we just don't use lead all that much in this mod set. Probably use a bit more of it with the changes to sciences than normal with Science Cost Tweaker, but still, in general, I always tend to have way more lead than I do everything else. So yeah, that's all that stuff that I've had just done off screen. The basics of the basics. But in order to feed all of that, I also needed more of the mineral sludge. So I've made a few adjustments at my mineral sludge build. And the primary thing here is that I noticed that I had an issue with this geode sorting and crushing, and basically just filtering crystal slurry into mineral sludge. This process had a little bit of an issue where I had several parts of the build getting blocked, and they just stopped working. They failed to have enough of the mineral water to continue the filtering process. And I didn't really understand why exactly it was behaving in that way, why it was occasionally stopping, because it does overproduce mineralized water from versus what it needs to produce the algae and do the filtering. It actually produces more than what it needs, slightly more, but even with the voiding of excess set up down here with this little overflow valve here, somehow it was voiding too much to continue the system perpetually. Huh. I found that weird. So, I have completely removed a lot of it. These 6 here are the only ones that remain. Each unit makes 25 per second of the fluid. And I've replaced them with these units of this. This produces 100 per second of the mineral sludge in the grand scheme when it's operating. I have apparently not gotten this one operational at this point in time. Huh. Weird. How did you not have enough stuff again? What? What? This also has that same weakness. Are you kidding me? Really? Well, that died. That one's flowing. That one's flowing. That one's flowing. And that one's flowing. Don't really know what happened here. But, I'll need to fix that at some point. Anyway, this does electrolyzers. As I have mentioned, you want to let me know that day 6 is not in the Sea Block playlist? What? How? How is that not in the Sea Blocks playlist? It's totally... It's... It's totally in the Sea Block playlist. It's, yeah, it's, yeah, it's totally in the Sea Block playlist. Yeah. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it's there. It's there. I try to be on top of it, but, you know, YouTube removed the ability to automatically add videos to playlists, which, you know, sucks. I don't really understand why they felt the need to remove a feature like that. They claimed that not enough people used the feature. I use the feature. A lot of other people actually were saying that they used the feature, but apparently, as a proportion of the total number of people on YouTube using YouTube, not enough use the feature. And then the way they went about removing the feature, they didn't actually turn the feature off. They removed your access to being able to edit and add the ability to automatically add videos to a playlist, but all of the playlists that you had already set rules for adding videos to those playlists, yeah, that still functions as far as I'm aware. That still is functioning. So any older playlist that I have that was using those rules that you could set to automatically add videos to specific playlists, it'll still automatically add videos to the playlist whenever I upload a video that has the, like, things that it's looking for to add to those playlists. And there's no way to stop it doing that anymore. There's no way to remove the rules. They're just there and functioning without any way to change them. It's great. It's fantastic. But anyway, I essentially decided that even though this process uses more power because of the electrolyzers, using a lot more power than the geode washing, I decided that, you know what? This is actually more space efficient and does not rely on having access to viscous mud water. Therefore, it's better, and I will use it over washing for geodes, filtering the slurry into sludge. It's just, this is a more compact setup than this, this bit, that's 100, that's 200, that's 300, that's 400, and that's 500 of the mineral sludge per second versus 25 times 6 in that area, 150. 50, 100, 150. Yeah, like, I can't really justify that. I could fit another block in here and get 200 in that amount of space, plus have room for another 100 below that, and like another couple hundred on the sides. Like, there's enough space in here to put in at least another 500 per second of the stuff. That's 150. But that was not all that I have done off screen, because I have also done this up here. What is this up here? It's just the normal basic levels of circuits that was already on my mall. So essentially the mall, not the mall, the bus. I always mix up my words. My bus had this to make the basic circuit boards. So it's pretty much just a copy-paste with some upgraded buildings and belts pasted down here, providing it onto a localized logistic network, making those. The only input it needs is copper coils, copper wire coils. So I just bring the copper wire coils in. It makes the wooden boards local. All of this infrastructure, yeah, that's the wooden boards from paper for the thingies. And then up here, same thing. It's just doing the green, the electronic circuits. What this needs, though, is the circuits from below, as well as tinned coils, solder coils, and iron plates, and carbon, which that's this infrastructure in here. This is making the carbon for that little thing. Such a big amount of space just for the carbon for this. Part of me just is thinking maybe I should make carbon and put it on the network in a separate location. But to what end, right? It's like, this is really small. What am I going to use all this space for otherwise? And this is getting into the whole issue I have with doing a base like this with these types of blocks. Even making the blocks smaller, the smallest I can, essentially, with a shared train station for all of this, providing the two thingies. Like, the blocks are either going to be too big or too small. And when they're too big, they're way too big. And when they're too small, they're way too small. And if they're too small, and you go into the next one, that next one's too big. You're never going to have a build that perfectly fits a factory in any given square for a given output that you're interested in. It's like, you could potentially try to max the space and, like, whatever you make is whatever you make, but that's hardly having any control over your exact values. Like, you'll end up way overproducing on specific things if you do that. Like, why? Just why? But anyway, besides that, I do have a lot more things coming to the mall now, and it is at this point that I need to start assigning a few names. I hope my patron list is in fact updated so that I can start adding in my supporters. That's for the anonymous glass tier level of supporter on Patreon. That's the $10 tier. And then we get into the copper tiers. Did I spell that even remotely? For tin plates here, we have Ice Pick. And don't worry if the patronage drops off after the month. All that really matters is that you are a patron at the time I set these names. Because I know that there are a few people who will be dropping off going into the month of May. Sadly, including my Chromium supporter. They've been very, very nice and kind and extremely supportive over time, so I have no issues with them leaving at this point. I fully understand. And then this one. Pretty much covers it. There is an anonymous copper tier, but we do have one named anonymous already, and that actually covers all of our stuff here. So that's the names currently from copper tier, glass tier, and chromium tier supporters on Patreon. From here, I will move on to the members of the channel, of which we have how many at this point in time? Has it gone down? No, we have 9. We have 9 whole members of our channel at this point in time. So from there, I'll start working on that list. There's a little bit of overlap, but that's okay. Hello, Ollie. Ollie's leaving. He walked across and he left. So sad I couldn't grab the Ollie. I was not about to use one arm to grab that really, really big, heavy kitty. Okay, let me see here. Wow, we're almost at the 6-month mark? Really? It's almost been 6 months since setting up YouTube members. Because this next cycle, I think, is the 6th cycle. So we're going to have people getting the I think the next level of badge is 6. Yeah. There will be people getting the next level of badge soon. They'll get to be the Planetons Mods Mark II construction bot. The really beautiful, shiny, chrome construction bot, level 2, from Planetons Mods. That's going to be that icon for 6 months. At 12 months, they shall have the icon of the high-tech logistics bot, and then at 2 years, they get the high-tech construction bot icon for being loyal supporters for that period of time. It is, of course, $1.99 to become a member of the channel. I don't know that they probably take the tax as well. Ad tax. I don't even know how YouTube handles tax. All I know is they handle it. You can just hit the great big blue join button to become a member today. And the more members we have, the more emote slots we can unlock. We get one at 10. Glorious members. That will be permanently unlocked. So if we get one more member, it will permanently unlock a new emote slot. And then I don't think the next one's until like 20. I can check these things, you know? I can check these things. What is the breakdown? Learn more. No, the next one would be at 15. So we get a new emote at 10, and we get another one at 15, and another one at 20. And then it goes up by 10 for the next ones. 30, 40, 50 have one each, and then 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200. And then it goes up to 300 and by sets of 25, or no, it goes up to 250 by sets of 25, so 200, 225, 250, and then 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, 1,200, 14, 16, 18, 2,000, 22, 4, 6, 8, 32, 4, 6, 8, 42, 4, 6, 8, and then 5,000. At which point, all it says on this list, number of emotes, you get all the way up to 49 emote slots at 4,800 members, and then at 5,000, it just says, talk to us. Good luck getting there. Gee, I hope I get there at some point soon. I could use the whatever 70% is of 5,000 times $2 times 0.7. Yeah, that's like $7,000 a month. I could use that. That would be great. That would be fantastic. Actually, just 500 a month would be fantastic, but that's gonna take a while. How many members would I need off of that? I guess I should consider the ad revenue too, but that's minuscule. Oh, I would need like 340 members. Yeah, that's a bit much. Or some very kind people on Patreon. That's how we'll get there. I would love to devote all of my waking moments to this, but part of it is just having the enthusiasm, I guess, is the best way to say that. Having the enthusiasm to spend all of my time on this. Because what ends up happening is that, well, I know I'm not earning all that much off of this, so why am I doing it in the first place? I have these questions that pop into my mind, and then what I end up doing is not anything related to my streaming in my off time. Would like to think of other stuff to do, but we shall see about all of that as we go forward. Anyway, how about actually playing the game? That would be great. We spent like half an hour just not playing the game. Let's actually do something. And that something would be that I wanted to start with actually getting into bronze. Because that's going to be the easy part. It's going to unlock some important things, like red belts. You know, those things? Yeah, red belts. Red belts are great. They go at... what do they go at? What is the setting in Sea Block for the scaling? Because normally it would be 30. Where is it? Here. It is 30. Okay. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So it starts at 7.5, then it's 15, 30, and just normal scaling. Okay, good. I could use red belts and red inserters and stack inserters and all of that. That would be really nice considering I have all of the electronic circuits for this stuff. I also haven't set up steel. I guess I should do that off screen or something. But regardless, let me now continue with all of this going forward. Also, I don't even know if my Streamlabs is working properly, so there's that too. Thing is with Streamlabs and YouTube is that I constantly have to re-log in through the website for whatever reason. I have to verify it's me. Okay. They apparently have a new security method to log in with Google, so that's a thing. So yeah, there's a few subscriptions that had gone through that, or one from 9 hours ago that I don't think is on my list of events. Alright. Bronze. Let's get into bronze. This is going to be a pretty simple build, unless I want to do the nickel with it. Shall we do the nickel with it? This would be an opportunity to, oh, what we can do is we can compare. Ooh. I like comparisons. Do you like comparisons? I like comparisons. We can have a look at this, because ultimately it will come down to the amount of slurry / sludge and catalysts for each of these. So, is it actually better to use the one that has 3 versus the one that has 2? We'll look at 100 molten in this process. Actually, I didn't even know how much 100 molten out makes in terms of plates, so maybe I should just do 5 plates. Ah, that would be 10 plates for 100 molten. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. So, 5, 3.34, and 1.67, 7.5, and 2.5. Okay. Well, let's break this. Excuse me, but no. Why did it go to a new thing? Like, I didn't click a button to start a new thing. I didn't, like, hold any button to make it do a new thing. Alright. Well, that happened, I suppose. Let me get stuff on the side going. You are not powered through that. You are powered through usually that. Oxygen I don't really care about, but I have a build for this, and I have to break this down all the way to here. I have to break each of these to show me the fundamental amount of sludge being used here. Same thing with the tin, doing processed tin. I'm not really going to look at the charcoal for this. It's a very simple build on the charcoal. Going to do that. Going to do matrix solver. And going to break down the bobmonium, which is the new item here. So we're up to 156.3 mineral sludge. And then we have nickel, which we cannot do the better processed nickel processing, the cathodes, so we have to directly do nickel ore with carbon monoxide, which is really easy. Which is incredibly easy. Now, is it better to do carbon monoxide out of carbon and pure water, or out of carbon dioxide and hydrogen? Because the carbon dioxide comes from charcoal directly, but so does carbon. So in this instance, it's 0.09 charcoal, and in this instance, it's 0.09 carbon, which is less charcoal, 0.07. Oh, wait, I have to always swap that fuel. Which is less charcoal, but you have the steam here, which also is some power equivalent. For the sake of things, if we say it was charcoal, it is still less. It is still less overall charcoal using the carbon to make the carbon monoxide. It's minor, a minor detail, but it is still accurate. It is a difference of, 0.02 units of stuff. Wait, is that even a... Yeah, it's a gain, I'm pretty sure. So that's the process that I would use, except that I would use the electric doohickey with that recipe for my own sanity and for the sake of simplicity in the end. The pure water is really easy as well. And then we have to get the nickel ore through the ore sorting of chunks of these, and we have rubite, which hadn't been broken down yet. So there we go. And we didn't actually break down sapphirite either. So let's break that down too. And we also have crystal catalyst, so we can have a look at how much seedling that uses. I mean, it's barely anything. We could almost completely ignore it. But what we can't ignore is the amount of sludge used in the mineral catalyst. So, doing all of this to get a quote-unquote more advanced recipe going that has a higher output of bronze for the 3 different types of ingots, we would need nearly 200 mineral sludge, as well as 5.21 crystal seedling. The comparison here is... Oh, I know what's... I know what's happening, is I'm doing it from here. That's what it is. I'm up here, and I click on this, and I click on that, and it adds a new production block. So, if I'm here, in this block, I was on the line. If I'm on the block, then I can break this down in here just fine. That's what I've been doing. I haven't been paying attention because it's defaulting to the production line first before going into the block. Oh boy. Oh boy. And then you're gonna be that. No, not that. Not ceilings. What? No. That. And you, of course, are going to be from that or sorting, and we'll just break these down. Set matrix solver, do the same thing on the tin. Set that to that. Still waiting to be able to set a default resource type. And break that down, break the bobmonium down, and here we have 187.6. Sludge. 198. 187.6. Gee, I wonder which is more efficient. Huh. Who'd have thought? This recipe is a trick. I would not do this recipe unless I absolutely have to spend nickel. And have some way of constantly draining my plates along with it. So, what did I do? Oh. The question is there an ore sorting recipe that gives me copper, tin, and nickel? And only copper, tin, and nickel. Well, that's copper, tin, and silicon, which is not what I need here. Wouldn't it be great if there was an alloy that had a 3:2:1 ratio of copper ore and tin and silicon ore? Wouldn't that be great? That would be so convenient and make me actually want to make cupric powder. Potentially. Potentially. Like, that would be fantastic. But as it turns out, it seems nickel is not tied to copper. Because this is, or tin. It's not tied to tin. Tin and copper is tied, but not nickel. And then what about zinc? Well, we have zinc and tin, but no copper. Great. That's just wonderful. Fantastic. Buh. So that's a thing. It is better to just do this and not do the more advanced process. Wow. And the same would apply with the zinc recipe, I would imagine. Or at least similar would apply to the zinc recipe, although I think the zinc one is a little bit more output. No, it's identical output. The same amount of copper and the same amount of tin, except 6 zinc instead of 6 nickel. which ultimately will come down to the same amount of stuff initially. Now, this changes a bit once we get access to the processed step for nickel. It'll cut down the numbers by a little bit here on the sludge for these, because I would need less ore input of nickel, being able to do the cathode from processed nickel processing. But by that point, I think I also get the pellet press processing for these guys, copper and tin, which has its own increase, again, of efficiency, reducing the back-end demands. It's only when we get everything at pellet press that I would want to do this comparison again, and I still think that it's gonna favor this process because it's simpler. Only relying on two things, not needing to bring in crystal stuff, and all of that. It might win out on the overall sludge a bit. And something tells me that this is going to be the same exact story for the majority of the rest of the alloys, like brass. Slash the other alloy that has this circumstance where we have a multi-input. Actually... Oh, that only adds 120, yet doubles the zinc required? No, I don't think that's going to be worth it. By doubling the required zinc. No. No. No, 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 no. That's not going to be worth it. You're doubling your zinc required to 1.5 your output, and you're now requiring 10. So you're requiring, basically, this 610, as well as twice the zinc, to get 50% more? Like, I'm pretty sure that that's going to add more than 50% more input into the system, regardless of which of these recipes. So I would stick with copper and zinc. Do you get my logic here? And that's probably going to be the same with the rest of these alloy type things, where you have the option of going down the line with more quote-unquote efficiency. That manganese iron is ideal because you get the 1-to-1 ratio through the ferrous, the crushed ferrous stuff. That's what makes that useful. Where are other places where there's options like that? I don't even know. There's titanium recipes as well. I would have to see, at least with the titanium, you get double the output, though you are adding in nickel at that point. Nickel uses crystal catalysts. Titanium uses hybrid catalysts. So this would be one worth doing because you're not doubling your input stuff. Oh, my throat. Wow. Ahem. Got something caught in my throat. But once we get into 3 items at a 50% gain, I think that takes away from any sort of potential gain, because I think overall that these would end up with more required sludge and crystal seedling than this one. Nickel titanium. I think nickel titanium wins for titanium. And I think if I need tungsten powder mixture, I would do the nickel powder and tungsten rather than the cobalt tungsten because, again, cobalt is a hybrid catalyst versus nickel, which is just a crystal catalyst. And then steel is going to follow the same issues, probably better on the one additional input because you are doubling the steel out. That one additional input would be fine if it's silicon steel. Because there is no individual ore sorting for manganese, sadly. Sadly. I could see a mixed system here doing ferrous processing, the crushed ferrous, to get part of the iron and all of the manganese for this. The thing about this process is it doesn't give you enough iron to make the steel ingots. So basically, I would use the iron for steel ingots. I would need more iron for more steel ingots to match the manganese here, and that's why I've tended to avoid doing that. It's a little bit more complex. And then anything with 3 is just no. Anything with 3 would be just a nope from me. That would include the molten solder here with copper, silver, tin. Tin, zinc versus lead, tin. No, lead, tin is likely going to be the best thing for solder, period. Because the last thing you want is to add in an ingot that needs a crystal catalyst as well and having to go through the flotation process here. You'd have to do that for the zinc and for the silver. I think silver is silver crystal or is silver hybrid? I always forget with silver. I know gold is hybrid, but regardless, I don't see the point going up for 3 for a 50% increase in gain there, because you're just adding a lot of input required. Maybe at the higher processing, it'll be better. Higher tiered processing through pellet press. And then we've already covered this bronze stuff. Now, some stuff, like Invar, you don't have a choice. Cobalt steel, you don't have a choice in the matter. Nitinol, you don't have a choice in the matter. How convenient it is that nitinol is nickel titanium, and the best titanium is nickel titanium for titanium. Ain't that convenient? Huh? That's pretty convenient. The problem is we're also going to need chrome plates. And that's... yeah, that's a problem. I wish this was an alloy recipe. Just because there's no individual ore sorting recipe for chrome. I know I'm thinking really late game. End game, really. Because you only really need the chrome plates for that last black circuit in this. But, yeah. The problem is getting the chrome, which I think is only that ferrous crystal sorting. That's the only one that gives chrome ore, of which you would have to deal with 4 iron, 2 manganese. Still not enough iron for steel, but meh. nickel, cobalt, and chrome. Iron, manganese, nickel, cobalt, and chrome. There's got to be something that we could do to make use of all those, but regardless. So I know what I'm going to do. I am going to do this. I'm going to pin this. I'm actually going to set these to level 2 machines. Except for you. There we go. That does it. Then I'm going to need to get these machines and figure out where I'm going to build this. Congratulations, we've spent an hour doing nothing! 0 gameplay in an hour. We've planned. We have done planning. That is essentially all that we have done. I need a bunch of stuffs. I think I can get rid of some of these electrolyzers. I may as well break down also that from you, and that from you. There we go. And that from that. And I need mineralized water. From you. Oh, right. Duh. That makes enough through the crushing of the doohickeys. And I still have excess. Cool. I'm not gonna make 10. I'm gonna make, I don't know, 5? 5 sounds good for now. For the start. And that will be that. Give me... what do I need here? Apparently not electrolyzers. Hydro plants, probably not that many. Don't need filtration plants. Just going to free up some inventory space here so that I can pull in enough things. Crystallizers are here. I need a couple of those. Let's see, what else? I have the liquefiers, I'm pretty sure, yep. And then I need those at level 2. I do need induction furnaces and the level 2. Wait, do I not have... Do I not have the level 2 casting machines set? Ugh. Great. I need to make those. That was an induction furnace. I need the casting machine too. That's a lot of stuff. There you go. Easy. Very easy. Just need to actually make a few of those, but in the meantime, I'm probably just going to go and start building this. Because, yeah, unfortunately, there is no rolled version of bronze. Makes me sad. There's no strand casting for bronze. Or brass. So sad. There should be, but there's not. Did that really say 15 there briefly for number of people watching? Hello. Welcome. we just figured out that doing the copper and tin recipe of bronze is far superior than doing the one that needs nickel as well as copper and tin. It's significantly better than the base input. This is looking at 5 versus 10, but it's still 186 versus 198 mineral sludge. Pretty solid difference there for this state of the game, for where I'm at right now. Okay, that should be that. What are you waiting on? Steel, of course. Always in need of steel. You know, there's a 0% chance now that my coffee pot will spill my coffee all over my keyboard today. And by keyboard, I mean my piano that sits next to me. Oh, that was fun yesterday. Getting essentially this much coffee all over my desk and all over my piano. Such a fun experience, that. So this is not behaving as it should. Maybe I just didn't put enough seed charcoal into this to get it flowing inherently. Or from the start. Also, I did a little bit of a different thing here. Usually I have a loop that just keeps looping, but because I only needed one building processing the filter frames for this, I decided as long as I have the charcoal filters on one side and the used filters on the other, I can use loaders to load in the lane of the one filter and then output the charcoal filter on the opposite lane. And this will constantly cycle for me, and I don't have to worry about the throughput of the inserters, because obviously the inserters, 3 slots would not have handled the throughput there from this position. And this should flow now, really. Oh, I guess it uses more charcoal, potentially, than what this can make? Did I not make enough charcoal? I mean, this is cycling and producing more than enough charcoal up here. Oh, it's because I'm using loaders here. I have to fill this up before it backs up. That was probably it. I just didn't give it enough inherently, and it choked because of that. So, we're going to build this here, I guess, because that is the next spot available for me to build in, and oh, there is that to worry about. And the train station should be able to accommodate the bronze. I just need to add in... actually, no, I already have a thing that's free and some extra... We're gonna take a break. I happen to need to take a break. When I come back, we are going to be actually doing this build and moving on from there into the other ore types that we need of the crystal catalyst ores and the flotation processes. I shall be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. I feel so much better now. Yeah, so, something happened. I just need to walk over here, and everything will be good again. Meow. Where? There. Ta-da! We're back again. Back in business. At least I was not in my car. I would have lost everything in the car. Where's Meow? Where's Meow? Ba-ba. A Dolly! Dolly is here. Hello. You're trying to get away? How's my doll? Here's my doll. How's my girl? How's my Dolly? This little baby. Me trying to grab this little baby to show the people is how I got a whole bunch of coffee all over my piano yesterday. My electric piano. And everything else. Ah, boy. There she goes. Off she goes. Ah, that was fun. On stream, having that happen. Okay, this is going to be a very similar build to, you know, that. This is copper and tin, right? So I have that here. Maybe I should just go over there. Plop down a thingy, radar, so I can actually see the stuffs. I think that's going to be in my best interest. Because I do have tinned wire coils, and this is basically tinned wire coils, except it's more copper than tin. Yeah, I just need to get a radar down right here. Doink. And then I can basically just copy this in its entirety. Let's stick that there for now. Then head on back over. Avoiding the trains along the way. That would be ideal. Not getting hit by a train would be a very good thing to do. Also, how is this guy looking? Producing! It's producing. But I'm seeing a pretty distinct lack of stuff there, game. Why are you not doing anything? There are used ones going past. What? There you go. That should fix all of the issues here. Every single one. And I will want to do the same exact fix on all of the dudes. So I'm gonna actually do that right quick. It's just changing the settings on those inserters. So that the ones that are getting fed are preferentially the ones providing the mineralized water into the system for the green algae. That was required. What? Oh. Huh? What? Oh. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think I've done the thing on all the things. Maybe? Alright, we're good. We're good. I'm good. I'm done. Let's go. Upwards. Do the build. Do the build. And don't die. That'd be ideal. You. That dang doohickey. Huh. Alright then. That will work. Oh, I guess I need to bring in something too from up there. At that train station, I need to actually bring in the stuffs. Alright, which side is which? Always a great question. Oh, I didn't grab any ore sorting facilities. I completely forgot about that. Alright. And no strand casting machines. Either. So all of that can go away. This also is making molten bronze, so even these need to go, need to change. Lots of stuff is in need of changing. And quite possibly also consolidation. Yeah, get rid of all of that. I do need that. Get rid of this. Keep that there. Don't need those. Guess I lost my power connection there. I need... How much copper? From 5, 4? What? 5 and 4? Huh? Oh, because tin uses the same thing. So 4 and 4 is what I need for this particular build. 4, 4, and then 1, 1. Is that what I'm getting at here? 1, Bobmonium? 2 Bobmonium. What? Oh, 1.12. Okay, so it'll be 2, 2 on you. And also only need one of these, right? Yeah. For both. So I can... Actually, you know what? Keep that one, get rid of this one. There we go. Looks like I need crushers as well. Go ahead and stick that in there. Stick that in there. Get rid of this. That's not necessary. What would be necessary is the doohickey at the end. I'm gonna rearrange this. Yeah, I'm gonna rearrange this a bit. Just a smidge. I don't need it to go down. That's a lot of empty space. I'd rather make use of it in some way, shape, or form. So I will grab all of that. That's doing the processed tin, and I'm going to put them up there. Squeeze them in. And then I'll grab this whole section and stick it here. That means that I will need to take this line. This line is my fuel. That's a bit big to jump. And just stick it, yeah, like so. And that is a far more compact build on the tin side. On the copper side, I could do the exact same thing. And so I will. How many... Okay, I do need 2 for this. This one I only technically need 1. Processor here. There's an argument to be made to just tighten that up a bit, but first I want to square this all off. Alright. This guy, though, if I put it here, well, A, I want to shift that over. B, I would need to do this. C, I would want to tighten it a bit. Like so. And then I need the oxygen. Ugh. I don't like it that low, but it may have to be. Because part of my concern is that I want compactness, ideally. Now, I could do that, move this here. Is this Sea Blocks? Yes, this is Sea Block. Trust me, this is Sea Block. I've just spent a really long time waiting for landfill. Yeah, I've used a bit of landfill across the place. I've got this thing giving me a little bit of landfill from washing for mud. I'm literally voiding the output of saline water from this, all so that I can get mud for landfill. So I have one of these right now. I should probably have more than one of these set up, but for now, one. I've also got a couple boxes up here for four thingies here with more. So as far as how far I've gotten in this playthrough, I am making bronze right now, but technically I have crystal catalysts, so we're at the point where we're going to be setting up the ore sorting for the crystal catalyst-based ores. The silicon, zinc, fluorite, that stuff. And what I'm still needing to do is we're not even close to blue science yet, so we need to get into the petrochemical stuff. I still need to get into plastic. I still need to get into actual oil-based stuffs. I need to get into ablative weapon stuff, which I think this uses brass. Yeah, so that's a zinc thing as well. And that's going to be freaking fun, hilarious to make use of, or to do because of the waste outputs on these. So yeah, stuff things. I need red circuits as well. It's gonna be great. Fantastic stuffs. There we go. Good. You've just got to blue. I have science cost tweaker, which means that I have a different type of blue science. I mean, Sea Block is its own thing. I would not directly compare it to a standard Angels Bob's playthrough, particularly when using things like science cost tweaker and circuit processing, because those are balance changing mods compared to a standard Bob's Angels playthrough. If I had normal science, things would be a lot simpler for me right now. This is a lot more complex with Science Cost Tweaker on. And it's a lot more complex with different circuits through Circuit Processing mod, which also nerfs the modules by quite a lot. you effectively only have 4 levels of modules, a level 0, 1, 2, and 3 to work with, and none of the dedicated pure modules. They all have drawbacks. So, would I rather be playing a regular Bob's Angels? Sure. I mean, if I had to choose between having the circuit processing with Science Cost Tweaker on a normal map versus a Sea Block map, of course I'd do it on a normal map over a Sea Block map, because I mean the only thing that's actually here with Sea Block in and of itself is you're just getting the ores from water. And there's been a few modifications to make sure that you can get the resources from nothing. And you have to place the land down. Outside of that, there's effectively no difference. Like, once you have your stuff, then it gets into the realm of other mods that's not Sea Block making changes, like circuit processing and Science Cost Tweaker. Because that's not Sea Block in and of itself doing anything. Those are separate mods doing things to change what you do with what you have made by comparison to a standard Angels game. You can play this with standard Angels and then only get the challenge of you need to place the land and you need to get the resources from water resource. Then why did I decide to do Sea Block? Because I have 13 viewers according to my viewer count right now, because I have it playing with Sea Block. Because Sea Block has people searching for it. And because I haven't done Sea Block before. I haven't gotten this far in Sea Block ever. Just as a thing. And because I've just done a standard Bob's Angels playthrough not even 2 months ago. Like, I'm just having finished a standard Bob's Angels playthrough. I'm not going to do another one immediately again. Anyway, I need to get some ore processors, ore sorting facilities, and ore crushers. I'll go ahead and do that. Just head on over to my area where I've got a bunch of stuff. Percentage-wise, there's a lot more people watching Sea Block than even the standard Bob's Angels playthrough that I did, that I called Space Angels. It was ABX. But, I mean, even compared to Pyandon's mods, there's more people watching Sea Block than Pyandon's mods. If I were to do Pyandon's mods, I don't know how many people would actually be watching on a consistent basis. I'm going to assume that if I were to go back to Pyandon's mods right now, right now, my next stream, like tomorrow, if I said, hey, we're starting a Pyandon's playthrough, initially, there'll probably be like 30 people that show up to that. A lot more by comparison to what I usually get. But by episode, or by day, like, 40, and we're working on getting green science, cough, Pyandon's mods take a long time. By that point, there'll probably be, like, 5 to 10, my normal. When do we get a piano stream? When I can actually play it and, like, know what I'm doing. Something that involves a little bit more effort than just one hand doing something. Hello, Ollie. How's my baby? How's my Ollie? That's my boy. That's my big boy. Daba. What's that? Oh, Daba! He, he went down to the floor and hooked my wire, and it dragged off my head. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I do have a piano next to me. I'm still working on like the hand motion as well, trying to get the proper fingers in the proper places and the learning how to move the hand. Like that's a really big one that you need to know when you're learning how to play the piano. In particular, I need to get an actual book to learn out of. I don't have a I don't have a book to learn out of for the piano. So anything I can currently play is just what I've noticed by ear as things to play. And most of the time, I think for the majority of people, if they just sit down at a piano and don't know what you're doing, you can go through key by key and you will eventually find the notes and hear the notes that correspond to Christmas songs or just the songs that you've heard multiple times over and over and over again. Those are going to be the first things that you tend to find, I think. Definitely the first things that I've found. Can you show me what my power generation physically looks like for that 288? Yeah, it's this. Several units of this. It's green algae into charcoal into pellets into steam power. That's all it is, just repeated multiple times. These are more outdated over here using Mark 1 stuffs, and not all of it is on pellet press on these. These are 6 net out power. It uses 3, makes 9, so 6 net when at 100% for these guys. These are a little bit more efficient using these higher level farms and doing pellet press processing. Slightly more efficient. But yeah, it's just a lot of that. And then of course I still have the initial set of wind turbines set up over here. I shifted them out of the way because they were a little bit in the way where I originally had them. I think they were like here. I was thinking maybe they would be in the way, so I moved them, but yeah. And there was more in here, but I removed those so I could run my rail. Yeah, I could technically burn hydrogen. The problem is that, say for example, if I wanted to look at energy out of a fluid burning boiler that is burning... Actually, you can't burn hydrogen directly, not in this mod. You can burn, I think that's a fuel oil. You can burn ammonia. Why can you burn... Or hydrazine. Okay, you can burn hydrazine, you can burn diesel. There is crude oil, methane, fuel oil, liquid fuel, and naphtha. Those are your options in the fluid burning stuff. Hydrogen would have to be through making fuel blocks, solid fuel blocks, using charcoal plus hydrogen into solid fuel blocks into power. I haven't looked at that one yet. I could look at that one if I looked at fuel blocks where the solid fuel is being made via this. That is linked if I wanted, say, 9 megawatts. What? Hydrogen is not free. Like, you're not... Why did this go 9 million? I said 9. I said 9. I said 9.0. Oh, that's Steam. What? Huh? How did I do this initially? Select energy. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. My output needs to be 9 megawatts. Use that from that. Use that from that, and then this makes 0.75. Now, hydrogen is not free, is the point I'm trying to make, because hydrogen is going to need to go through that process regardless. You're still spending power on the electrolyzers, of which then you also break down all of this. You do that, you crush stone from the slag there, you get this from this, and you are spending quite a bit. Because you need a 131.13 hydrogen here. So, this process to get 9 megawatts costs 4.8 megawatts. Okay? Because the hydrogen has to come from somewhere, and it is not free. Very, very specifically, this is not free hydrogen. Now, you could get hydrogen. No, the ultimate goal of the factory is not to produce slag, it is to produce power. The ultimate goal of the factory is to produce power, not slag. This setup... Hi, kitty. This setup, the goal of the setup is power. And I am in no way, shape, or form ever going to rely on a byproduct of a system that can back up for power. Not gonna happen. Not a good idea ever. Never, ever, 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 ever is it a good idea to use this hydrogen to make power. Never, ever, 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 ever is it a good idea to make use of this hydrogen for power. No. 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 No, no, no. Because it will back up. There will come a point where it will back up. There is a greater than 0% chance that it will back up. And then your power dies. If it backs up, your power is dead. And I want a 0% chance of that happening. Not a 0.01, not a 0.00001. 0 of that happening. So, as I said, if I try to use solid fuel in this process, the amount of hydrogen that's required makes it cost 4.8 megawatts to get 9 out, which is not as efficient as using charcoal pellets that produces 9 at the cost of 2.4 from charcoal pellets. 9 at 4.8 is less efficient than 9 at 2.4. I'm not doing it. You are not going to be able to convince me to do it. I'm not doing it. I make the exact same arguments with Pyandon's mods. I make very dedicated builds that completely void waste. The only time I will ever do that is when it is 100% necessary for the progression of the game. If it is not 100% necessary for the progression of the game, I'm going to have very dedicated builds that make very specific things that get rid of all of the excess, and I don't use the excess for anything. Because I don't like not knowing what my exact production is at any given time. And uncertainty is introduced when you make use of byproducts from systems that can back up and stop the production of the byproducts. Anyway, I came here very specifically to pick up a few buildings that I'm in need of for my build. I need these. I need, of course, these. Oh, I should probably limit that. I need what now? I need ore sorting facilities and crushers. There's my crushers, there's my ore sorting facilities, and I think that's it. Yeah, I think I'm good now. I like simple solutions. And the simplest solution is to simply ignore byproducts. Rather than add in a whole bunch of, frankly, unnecessary complexity. Trying to make use of these byproducts that aren't going to be consistent in the grand scheme. It is easier for me to paste down additional ones of these than it is to cycle hydrogen and figure out how to add in extra complexity by siphoning hydrogen here to make additional power out of this than it is for me to just copy something I've already made over and over and over again. Like, do you understand the difference in the complexity and the amount of time that it takes to do this? Why would I want to spend that much time? Like, I have high value on time. I know it doesn't really seem like that when I play Pandan's mods, but I genuinely value my time, and I don't feel like it is a good use of my time to work with that logistics to try to make use of a byproduct when I could just copy something else that's simpler and paste it down over and over and over again. Something that I know works. Regardless, what do I need to do here? I was going to tighten this up a little bit, I think. Yeah, I was going to actually cut the entire thing and paste it down. Over here. There we go. Just tighten that up a little bit. Throw that in there to get it going. Like I've done over here-ish. Oh. Yeah, that went into the wrong slot. This needs to adjust. I do not need the thingy there. Okay, now all I need is the setup of the induction furnace with 4 casting machines. Which, I may have built myself into a little bit of a box here. But you know what? We will manage. 4 casting machines. You know, I think that will work, because if I put this here, yeah, that'll be fine. Bronze. Bronze. That's necessary because this here. Yeah, that works. Hello. Papa, my dolly. Dolly, come on. Dolly. Papa. Dolly doesn't want to get picked up. She doesn't want to get picked up. Where's my girl? Where's Dolly? Where's my dolly? Oh well. I try to show the kitties whenever they're around, but sometimes they say no. This is going to need a doohickey there, and then I need a requester chest, of course. Let's put it there. And this is going to need 2. That is a bit of throughput, so we'll do that 1 removed. And we will filter by copper and tin. That was nickel, that was not tin. By tin ingots. This will request copper and tin ingots. Am I carrying around these guys? Yes, I am. There we go. Huh. There are 2 cats. They are brother and sister. We adopted them last year, early June / late May. I forget exactly the date. June-ish last year. They recently turned 1 year old as of March 15th. So they're 13 months at this point. I need a fluid input station. You. Whoops, that copied an extra thing. I must only copy that. Yeah, it's hard to believe that they are, in fact, siblings. But they are. I will figure out something else here. Ugh, why? You. There. If possible. No, not actually possible. Alright, get that pasted, and then there? There we go. That'll work. Ish? What? How did that happen? Oh, right, because it was, I think, a little bit different. Well, regardless, I'll need rail for that. Yep, we've got an Ollie and we've got a Dolly. Ollie is big and dark gray with black tabby stripes that you can barely see, but they're there, and once you see them, you don't unsee them. And then Dolly is a lighter gray, hints of brown and white on her, and full-on easy-to-see tabby stripes. Dolly always wants to play, and Ollie, well, he's ferocious. When he plays, he's not really playing. He is killing, hunting and killing. He plays really hard. He'll swipe and destroy things and hit ya. And Dolly will jump on everything. She climbs, is very adventurous. While Ollie, he wants to he'll just be with you. He'll be more of a lap cat than Dolly is. But she'll come onto the lap too, but Ollie comes a lot more often. He's more needy, more socially needy than Dolly. Dolly's more independent. Alright, what did I need again? I needed, rails. Rails. Yes, rails. Glorious rails. Hello. Signals too? Yeah. Rails and a few regular signals. I could just grab my car wherever I left it. Where's my car? Wait, where's my car? Hold up. Ah, there it is. Hello, vehicle. Let's get in my vehicle and use that. you see what you do is you bring up the video and then you play the game while listening to the video and or watching the video on another screen. That's what most people tend to do. Like, yes, I would like to continue to play the game, but also listen as someone else plays the game, gives ideas for what to do. Let's see, that there. I'm gonna get rid of that. Our mineral sludge at bronze. Alright, come here, mineral sludge, that I will perpetually be out of. He says while also arguing about the mineral sludge not... or the mineral sludge potentially backing up and stopping production of power. Like, oh yes, this one thing that is always going to actually be used. Yeah, let's not make use of the hydrogen that comes out of that. I stand by that too, I'm not going to use that hydrogen. Da-da-da. So, I don't even need this pen anymore. In all actuality, this will just work. This is done. Pretty much. I just need to add in this request for bronze. YouTube is not getting enough video. Oh noes! Drop frames! Sadness. How? Why? 2,471, 2,550, 2,630, 2,709. Oh noes! We're dropping frames. Come back! Frames, come back. What are we dipping into? 1,500? What? 3,410? 1,437? This is my ISP not behaving properly. So I am watching because I may have to adjust my stream setting. Oh, that went down to 327. Okay. I may need to drop down to 3K kilobits per second. And then 0. Oh. Oh, so that's how you're going to be. 0. Huh. No, it's not your internet. It is not your internet, it is mine. It is my internet service provider, Cox Communications, not being able to actually provide the internet that we are paying for. That we literally just got a new modem to maintain. So, I'm gonna bring it down for a second. Okay. Okay. I should be live at 3,000 kilobits per second. However, the upload rate is dipping down to like 0 on occasion, so there will likely still be some dropped frames as we go. I'm seeing it is at 0 right now. I do not need to reset my modem. This is my ISP having its network completely congested and failing to provide the quality of service. We got an entirely new modem. So it's not the modem. It is not the modem. It is not my wireless router. I guarantee you. I know a thing or two about what's been going on with my internet over the course of time. And it all started with this virus last year. So, yeah. I'm seeing 0 drop frames right now. It started with the virus. And when everyone rushed to do teleworking. Apparently, with Cox, in particular, my internet service provider, the demand in the first 2 weeks exceeded an entire year. In the first 2 weeks, the strain on the network was more than an entire year. So, that's what these places have been dealing with the entire time. I don't need 2 of these, do I? I'm pretty sure I don't. Hey, super chat. Thank you so very much. That will ideally get read. Yeah, thank you so much. I do.
Been subbed a while. Glad to get a chance to donate a little. Gotta run to work, but thanks for your work in bringing us some grade A Factorio content. Hope Google comes to your area soon enough, winking face.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope we get a better service in this area at some point, because Cox is not known for their quality of upload in particular. Download has been okay. Upload has been trash. It's been trash over this past year. Like, I think we've had more issues than we've had good days. We have had good days where we've had a quality connection, and we've had some good weeks where we've had quality of connection. But the issue is that, yes, the infrastructure is being updated. So yeah, after all of this is through, we have to keep in mind that there is going to be a baseline level that's always going to be there, as companies have permanently moved to teleworking. There is going to be a baseline increased demand that has accelerated, essentially, this transition to teleworking. Really, what this virus did was it forced a transition to happen a lot faster than what it was going to do. We were in the process of doing a transition towards teleworking. That's a thing that was inherently happening. It's just all of a sudden, a whole bunch of places needed to start doing it all at once. And a lot of places have realized that there are monetary benefits to having a percentage of their workforce working remotely. Because now they're realizing, oh, hey, we could totally save a lot of money on maintenance of buildings and rent of buildings that we don't need as big of anymore if people can just work from their house. And a lot of places are realizing that, oh, hey, we don't really need these people physically here to do their job. So there's going to be more teleworking baseline even as things return to a normal state. We'll have a new normal state as we go along. But we will still have upgraded network infrastructure. That was also forced to happen because of the huge spike in demand. So going forward, the network infrastructure will be able to better handle a spike in demand, a good thing, and we'll be getting some of the benefits of having more people doing teleworking and less people on the roads driving. Hey, wouldn't that be nice? Having less people on the road driving, not even just from an environment standpoint, just from like a convenience standpoint of being able to go somewhere without getting stuck in traffic as often or as badly, you know? It helps. It helps a lot. Lots of benefits there. Anyway, this will at some point start moving. I swear. Let's bring this down and over. And it will move. And I need to hook up this network. So let's go ahead and do that, like so. There we go. Ta-da! Yep. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye. Have a good time doing work. I am. You're really only missing a little bit less than an hour of the stream. I finish at the turn of this next hour. Inherently, normally, anyway. It seems like the 3,000 kilobits is being maintained. It might just be that the service has come back to full speed. I had a feeling we were going to have problems today. By the way, with the upload rate, because every stream before I start streaming, I do speed tests through a website called TestMyNet, and that initially came up as the upload rate being at like 4 megabits. But by the third try, it came up as 30 again. And I started up, it was at the full speed, but as it turns out, it went back down again. So I was like, okay, something tells me it's going to be fluctuating. We have bronze! By the way, maybe. We need our robots to actually do stuff. Huh. Okay, that's going. That's providing the fuel. I only need one. Whoops, I do need that. That's requesting that. That is requesting the ore. This is making the... Oh, I see. That was a split network. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now we're getting our folks over here to deliver here. Do I really need the robots to do that? Yes, yes I do. Absolutely. Absolutely, positively. Copper's working fine. Yeah. So once we get the bots down here to deliver here, and then to here, we'll get our processed tin into ingots. We'll get our ingots. Are we connected? Yes, we are. I was like, huh, there's a gap there, but we are connected here to the whole network. Alright. Good. Just gotta get this to happen and we'll have bronze. Well, next. Which shall we do first of all of this? Of all of these guys. Because now I need to do all of these guys. We need silicon, nickel, aluminium, zinc, and fluorite. So, Bronze network didn't look connected. Gap around the crystallizers? That is connected. That doesn't need to be there. Ah, I see. Yep. 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 You got it. You got it. Somehow, I got rid of something. There it goes. There it goes. I'm going to make this happen myself. There's a bot. There it is. Yeah, using the map mode can help to identify stuff. Let's turn that off though, because it can get rather messy. Also, I always keep the worker robots and the recipe icons modes on. I remember making a video about how these two things were things that existed before they were part of the map modes. And I was extremely confused when they finally added it to the map modes in here on these settings. Because by default, this is off. This is all you'd see. Like, this blue mess is all you'd really see by default. Now you can actually get the recipe icons. It's a completely game-changing feature. It changes everything when you know about its existence. But this has been part of the game for ages. Ages. Like, even from when I first started playing, during the 0.17 experimental testing phase, this has been here a long time. And it was in this menu, debug settings, hitting F4. It was in here. By the way, show FPS. That's what shows this guy up top, right up here. So, and the debug info and tooltips. Lots of useful settings in here. The worker robots and the recipe icons were in here, but then they got rid of them from this list because they're now part of the map settings. So there goes that video that I made. So that was a very common comment I would get, question that I would get, is what mod am I using to add the recipe icons on the map? It's like, it's not a mod. It's not a mod, it's a vanilla feature. Been here for ages. And we have bronze! Huzzah! We can make red belts now. And red inserters now. And just, like, red everything. An entire new tier of stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get to the little mall here, which I will always call a mall. There's no changing my mind in what I call it. It is my mall. I am shopping for my buildings at my mall. So this one is going to be bronze, and this is going to be Crack-a-Black. Again, how the heck do you spell that? Ahem. That I didn't want that. I wanted that. CK. First YouTube member, Crack-a-Lackin' TV. Or Crack-a-Lackin'. There we go. That is glorious. So, now I just need to actually set the request for the bronze and assign the and oh god, S bronze plates, D bronze plates. 1 S bronze plates 1, as if I'll have more. U bronze, 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 and then I need to actually add a train. Glorious, beautiful, wonderful train needs to happen. Bang. Bang, boop, pow. Here we go. Locomotive. You. Bang, bang. At 5 per second. That's 4 minutes of production to have 1,200 units total in the thing, with 3 slots open on each. That's okay. That's okay. Apparently, my current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate of 4,500 kbps. Gee. Who'd have thought? I know. I do know, but my internet said no, and unfortunately I can't really easily change the frame rate from 60 to 30 without you also complaining that I have changed the frame rate during an active stream. YouTube. So if it's not one thing, it's another about YouTube complaining to me. Because I had to lower my bitrate. So let's see, I need that. There, I need bronze. Supply, depot, full cargo, circuit condition, make sure I am not standing there. And there we go. Ta-da! And off to the mall it goes. Ta-da! And back it comes. To be repeated forever. Well, that took a lot longer than I anticipated. But that's how things usually go around here. I come in to a stream thinking that we're going to do multiple things, and I end up getting done one of those things. The reason being because I spend a lot of time talking, as well as explaining what I'm trying to do. And I think that's of value for folks, because who else would actually show you why they've decided to do something the way that they decided to do something? Let alone actually show you, like, what the comparison is between the different options available to us at the given point in the game, right? Is it not useful to have gone through to show exactly why the 3-input bronze system in Sea Block is not the best option at this phase of the game before getting into chemical science versus doing the 2 input option. If I set that to 5, like we could see, 98.96 plus 2.61 versus 93.76. Yeah, that's a lower number. And it's less complex than this. I mean, yeah, we could reuse the crushed stone, get some of the sludge back, but bleh. Blech. Another one of those byproduct things. I don't like using byproducts from systems that end up getting backed up. Like I play this way because I have played and beaten Pyanodons more than one time. And it's the only way that I can keep sane in Pyanodons mods, because there are so many byproducts and waste products in that mod suite that the only way I can stay sane and keep things at least somewhat organized in my mind as to what I need to continue to do, moving through the progression there, is to ignore as many byproducts as possible. Void them wherever possible. And just make more power as necessary through power setups that I pre-designed or have designed and are repeating multiple times over again to produce a lot of power and overproduce power, so that I can ignore the byproduct issue. So yeah, that's where I come from, by the way. As I approach Sea Block and as I have approached Angels, is I played a lot of Pyanodons mods. Hello, Ave. Where I've had to deal with a lot of byproducts. And after playing it for a while, just to stay sane, I made the determination that I will never deal with byproducts unless absolutely forced to. And that's why I ignore the hydrogen from the slurry system and don't make power out of it, as an example. So hello, Ave, welcome. I have made bronze. Yes, of course you void them. You can use them. It's a valid option to use them. Yeah, there's benefits to using them. I just don't care. I mean, what it really comes down to is I'm lazy. And I don't feel like setting them up. Setting up all the extra logistics that would be required to make use of them in a good way. And to, like, use them, and to plan around them not being there, and, I know what I would need to do to make proper use of the byproducts, and looking at what I would need to do to make use of the byproducts, I just say, no. I'm doing something easier, which is to just ignore them. And make more power on demand wherever I want to, because in this mod in particular with Sea Block, everything is from water, which means I can just paste units down and have as much power as I want. So yeah, I have bronze, and I showed why bronze was better through the 2 ingot input system than the 3 ingot input system for the phase of the game that I'm currently at, because I don't have access to the processed nickel processing, the phase 2, tier 2 of nickel processing. I can only do ore into ingots at the moment, and this process ends up costing more sludge and some seedling versus less sludge to not deal with any of that extra shenaniganry with the nickel. So that's what I chose to do, is just ignore the 3-input system and just use the 2-input system. And that's what we built. It is basically identical to the tinned cables, which I have down here. My tin plates sheet uncoiling with the tinned cables. Granted, I did that off screen, finished it off screen, but we've sort of seen processed ore processing to this point. We've seen that. So things like the lead and the solder, the tin and the tinned wire, like it's using a pre-existing copper and minor modifications for the requirements for tin, / no modifications for making tin outside of which ore you're using. Lead had a little extra step here to do the processed tin processing, an extra intermediate blast furnace step before going into the ingots. But that really isn't anything to write home about in terms of differences between these systems. It's not like Pyanodon's mods, where you have a completely different set of steps that you have to do for each individual ore type to refine your individual ores into more efficient using more efficient processes. In Angels, everything looks similar. All of the ore types follow very similar processes. They fundamentally have a similar set of steps, with the occasional additional 1 or 2 steps for the extra processing, like with lead here using this stuff. And then others will use like cathodes and such from chemical furnaces as an intermediate. It just adds in 1 or 2 intermediates in the process, that versus Pyanodon's mods that had a lot more than that. I have tutorial videos on all of those, and they are not that outdated, because the fundamental systems haven't changed. Maybe some numbers have changed, but the fundamental systems are still identical, and you can still refer to those videos for the fundamental breakdown of the systems. So yeah, that's a thing that I've done. Bronze is done, meaning that I can start setting up, like, this stuff now. That, and that. I can get that stuff now. I'm probably going to want to prefer the stack inserters forever, so I'm not going to keep that much stuff there. Okay, you do that, and then add in that guy. And that is the same stuffs. That's that stuff. Just add in the yellow splitter. And then, yeah, just same thing, just add yellow belt. I want all of the belt. I want that many of those. I want that many of those on hand. And, you know, this should really be just 1 stack, because it's upgrading from regular stack inserters. Otherwise, yeah, I think I'm good. That's it. Red tier. Red tier of logistics. I can't believe it. We're there. Ah, excellent. I am relieved that it's kind enough for it to just be electronic circuits and not the red ones. Because that would have delayed things a lot if it was the red ones. Speaking of the red ones, there's that too to have to worry about. I have broken that down here already. I can't do anything with this stuff yet, can I? Is that a loop? Hold up. Carbon. Reduces solution. It is a loop. Huh. I did not know that. I don't usually do this process for carbon from charcoal, but it does require some tech that I don't have. But good to know, regardless. I would question why I have access to this carbon recipe, converting charcoal into carbon with the sodium hydroxide, producing the sodium carbonate. I would question why I have access to this before I have the ability to make sodium hydroxide solution. As well as to make the solution out of carbonate. Because I don't have access to either of these two recipes yet, until blue science. So I'd question why this is unlocked at green and not at blue. That's my criticism comment. One of many. But yeah, I would that's just reasonable, right? That's very reasonable. Because now this would, I think, gain. Would this gain megajoules? 4 times 3.34. And then 5 times 3 is... Yeah, that is a... And then the power draw of this... I'm pretty sure that is a slight... It is a gain. It's not a huge gain. Especially when you consider the water via that and the nitrogen via this. And the voiding as well that you need to take into account. You're using a half a meg here. 15 minus 13.36 is 1.64. You really... I would estimate that you gain a megajoule out of this. Yeah. It's about a 1 megajoule gain, making 5 carbon through this process. Worth it? No. Not really. It's cool. I like it. it doesn't gain enough fuel value to be worth it in the end. Um, like even the difference in the amount of charcoal versus just the straight charcoal to carbon is with steam is it's not that much of a difference. Well, regardless, that tangent, of course, we do that on a lot of occasions here. We get on tangents. What was I even looking at in the first place? I have forgotten completely. I was looking at red circuits. Um. Oh right, my thing with the red circuits is that I hadn't really figured out what I would do for the blue algae. But as it turns out, this needs aluminium plate, which means I get a consistent supply of sulfuric wastewater. How do I know that? Because the individual ore sorting recipe Oh, that's neat. Uh-huh. Why, hello. I can only imagine that that was intended. Huh. I do declare that I believe that that was intentional. But the Givelite flotation, not the Givelite, or no, what? Neither of these. There's got to be an ore type here. Does that give 50? Is there another flotation ore type? No. Dang. Really? Do I really have to do the thing here? Wait, why are you not using the stuff? I want like use the stuff, please. I guess it anyway. My thought was, do we really have to like filter this into sludge to get sulfuric wastewater out? But there's no way it would net 15 sulfuric wastewater. So this would have to depend upon the flotation of one of these three. Either sapphirite, steatite, or bobonium. And that means I would have to spend a different plate type. This is only an issue right now because I don't have blue science yet. When I get blue science and I unlock the technology for sulfur processing level 4, I can get infinite sulfuric wastewater wherever I want out of lime processing. I can basically convert lime to sulfuric wastewater and acid gas, but yeah, that I could scrub down to, I think, to something. Everything related to sulfur becomes irrelevant once I get access to that stuff at blue. The thing is, I need it now. I need a supply of sulfuric wastewater to get this going so I can make ammonia for my urea for liquid resin. But I could avoid all of it I can avoid every single bit of it if I get my resin from wood. That's a lot of wood. So yeah, I could ignore all of the things. I just got rid of, yeah, I could ignore all of that and just get it from wood. And I would have to get wood from this. From you. I would need saw blades. From iron, a little bit of iron plates, and, yeah, seedlings are also from wood. So I would need to make 11 point something wood. 06, that will be that. Please default. Yeah! I need glass for that. So silicon will need to come first. And I guess what this is telling me is that I also need to do local production of aluminium ore. Bring in sludge. Bring in sludge, make aluminium locally. So that I can use sodium hydroxide, or at least local to where I'm making the ferric chloride solution. For this as well, or maybe just do all of this in one factory. That way, it is a closed system on that sodium hydroxide. And I don't have to worry about it as a byproduct that I can't do anything with. I can do things with all of the other stuff up here. Like, including these geodes, I have a way of dealing with them, though I will need sulfuric acid to deal with them. Yeah, about that. This will be a little bit more complex than I would have liked, but, yeah, I need to figure out how to deal with the stuff, and that's the problem with flotation. And making the chunks. That's the extra kick in the teeth that flotation gives you, is having to deal with the geode outputs on it. Regardless, though, we've reached the end of the stream for the day. I got bronze. I was going to do my ore sorting today. I was ready to go on the ore sorting today, but, you know, plans. We needed to make plans. And I'm glad that we have made plans. I am happy that I have made plans. For whatever reason, this is busted on here, and I can't actually set an output of silicon. But regardless, yeah, when we meet next time, I'm gonna make glass, I guess, so that I could get into greenhouses, so I can make wood, so I can avoid having to make blue algae at this phase of the game. And once I'm able to do that at blue science, I will likely just delete the wood production completely, because I'll have access to different resin recipes, and I'll be good to go. So yeah, with all that discussion and with all that talking over the course of this, with people, glorious people who decided that they wanted to come and watch this Sea Block stream, just talk about the various, like, my design decisions, I suppose, for a big part of it. Yeah, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Show, but if you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social stuff below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming an Outdated Otaku member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushowbut if you're so inclined and able. I will be back tomorrow where we will continue where we've left off and work towards getting into the various crystal catalyst ore sorting ores, including silicon, I guess, as one of our first things. And going on from there, especially now that I have access to beautiful red inserters and splitters and stack inserters. Oh boy, our first stack inserters. It's going to be glorious. I will see you all then.